Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Questions with Kyffin, yeah. So today's question comes from Lachlan_SCS, and he's asking, I recently just did my first freelance gig shooting a music video. Should I upgrade from 1080 to a 4K DSLR? Now, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about for this question, so I'm going to limit this episode to that question only. Now, with 4K, 1080p versus 4K, which one should you upgrade to 4K if you have a 1080 DSLR? But there's a lot of things that I don't think people realize about 4K cameras versus 1080p cameras. And just in general, I think 4K is, I know it's becoming a bigger thing. Things are starting to come out 4K. There's a lot more 4K cameras, 4K monitors, and everything like that, but I don't think 4K is going to replace 1080p for a long time, because 1080p is full HD. 4K is kind of like that next level. It's kind of like how emails stayed around this long. Even though it's been around for ages, there's a lot more efficient ways to communicate, but email stayed around. 1080 is kind of like what email was. 4K isn't the expected norm just yet. But in some cases, 4K may not be what you want to shoot with, because especially in cheaper cameras that shoot 4K, there is a difference between the amount of pixels on your screen and the detail and quality that's kept inside each pixel. So with a 1080p camera, there is going to be a lot more detail in the pixels than a 1080p camera that also shoots 4K. You know, 4K is kind of like an extra level that they just slapped onto the camera, so the detail in each pixel is not going to be as much. And if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about with detail, it's to do with editing and post. When you're color grading your video, and especially because Lachlan's doing music videos, you might want to shift around with the colors and, you know, make it a little bit more abstract. Now, with cheap 4K cameras, especially cheap 4K DSLRs, they won't have the same amount of detail in order to be able to manipulate the colors and actually make it look nice, because there's not enough detail in the pixels to be able to, you know, change the white balance all the way, bring up the exposure or darken the image and have it keep the same amount of detail. If you want to upgrade to 4K, make sure you get a proper 4K camera, which is quite expensive, not just a DSLR that happens to shoot maybe 4K and 30 FPS. That's just an issue that I know a lot of people don't know about when they buy 4K cameras and stuff like that. That can harm your video, especially if you're doing a lot of post work with color grading and that type of stuff. But by no means am I smashing 4K, because 4K is amazing. It's really good technology that allows you to, you know, zoom in and keep the same amount of detail as you would doing a 1080p video, because there's just that many pixels. So it's really depending on what 4K camera you're going to get. But for now, I personally, unless you have the money already invested and you're ready to go and buy one, I wouldn't bother saving up for a 4K camera just yet. This one I have now shoots 1080p just fine, and it's all you really need for especially online video and stuff like that, because 4K is kind of just like the gimmick at this point. I know it'll become more mainstream, but I know a lot of monitors don't even display more than 1080p. I hope that helped, Lachlan. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts on 1080p versus 4K, because I really want to see if there's anything that I missed or anything that I got wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, DM me, just let me know somehow. My socials will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. Back here.